Hello and welcome to the Link Show. Absolutely wonderful to have you along with us. We have traded our normal home studio for basically live in the field broadcasting today. So we find ourselves today at the Wingfield campus, which is situated pretty much in the heart of Goodwood here in Cape Town, and the Northlink Wingfield campus. Now, my name is Dougal. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for watching it. You are watching the Link Show. As always, partner in crime, Rhoda is here with us as well. Rhoda, good day.
Good day, everybody. Welcome. And I'm quite excited being here as well. You know, it's actually just amazing being here and seeing all this machinery. It's actually overwhelming.
And it is certainly something that has taken us by storm, because when we walked in, it is just a full-on fledged, really a workshop, because that is exactly what Wingfield, the campus here at Northlink, is all about, because this is the home to many, many mechanical engineering courses as well as electrical engineering courses. We're going to find out exactly, because this is what the Link Show does. We bring you the meat on the bone, the details, because ultimately this is really that push that you get to make this really your tertiary institution of choice. So we're going to cover all of that, but we at the campus, and we're going to find out exactly the heartbeat of the campus, and more importantly the courses that are on offer and exactly what is happening, and maybe even have a look at all these wonderful things here behind us, which you can see just over our shoulders as well. Now, right between us now, and good afternoon, Mark Cornelissen is joining us as well, who's the campus manager of Wingfield campus here at Northlink. Firstly, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to the Link Show.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us on the show.
No, it's absolutely brilliant to have you here. There's so many questions that pops up. And now, in my intro, I said that mainly electrical engineering courses, mechanical engineering courses. This is basically where it all happens.
Correct. So, Wingfield campus of Northlink College was originally started as a defense force college that served mainly employees of the defense force. The Army, the Navy in particular, and then it progressed from there to become a public institution, and this is when the doors opened to all students and the public in general.
Okay, because I was going to ask you that, you know, about the relationship between Wingfield campus and the South African Navy.
Yes, so as I said, you know, originally it started as a defense force training center. And then became part of the public training centers, or TVET colleges as we know them now. And really, you know, the relationship with the Navy, in particular, the Army as well, but in particular with the Navy, because we share the premises with them.
Okay.
And probably enjoy some of the benefits of the security of having the Navy.
I was just actually going to say that.
The Navy as a neighbor. But the standard of our equipment and training has not been compromised. In fact, it's improved, being part of the national TVET college delivery at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Let me quickly ask you, so where exactly are we now? This room that we find ourselves in?
This is the Center of Specialization. It has been accredited as one of the centers of specialization by the Department of Education for fitting and turning.
Okay.
So in 2017, we applied to be a center of specialization, specifically in fitting and turning. So 19 trades or occupations were identified by research that was done by the Department of Education, particularly to look at how the economy could grow and the occupations that were needed to help grow the economy. And so 19 occupations or trades were identified, and colleges all over South Africa could apply to be centers of specialization. And we applied to be a fitting and turning center of specialization, and we were then awarded that status in 2018.
And just listening to you said about accreditation, so all your courses, all of them are accredited, am I correct? And then what courses do you offer?
Okay, so our focus is on artisan development, which has two main areas of development. So it's theoretical and practical. So both of those spheres of the training are covered here, theoretical and practical. although we link up very strongly with industry. So the artisan status is achieved after an apprenticeship. This is traditionally. 2.5 year, 3-year apprenticeship. Somebody undergoes this training for 2.5 to 3 years and then completes a summative assessment or a test. One could probably compare it to a driver's license where you have some training and practice, and finally you will do the driver's license test and become a qualified or a licensed driver. So this is what artisan development is and artisan qualification. So at Wingfield campus, there are lots of, as I said, there's 19 that have been identified. But at Wingfield campus, we focus predominantly on the fitter qualification, the fitter and turner, which we have been accredited for as a center of specialization, tool maker, electronic equipment mechanician. We also do welding. So those are the occupations that we specifically focus on.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. No, and it definitely looks it, because when we walked in, you know what, there were students basically everywhere, and quite a hive of activity as well. But the one thing I must say, and this is why, do you know, one of the main reasons why I love this campus already, because it is close to public transportation. And this is a big thing, because this is very centrally located.
Absolutely. So public transport being located next to the N7, so we have the access to that road, and then public transport is also accessible, and with the bursaries that are offered, you know, students can use the funds that's available from the bursary to access getting to the college and leaving. I think what's also important to mention is that the programs we offer are from 8 till 8 at night.
Oh, wow.
So we have the normal, what we call full-time classes, from 8 till 3 or 3:30, and then afternoon, which we call a platooning session, from 3:30 till 6, and then we also have the part-time classes from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday to Thursday. So really a variety of options available for students employed or unemployed to access the training opportunities at
and I'm quite eager to delve into all these courses, because I tell you what, it is, I mean, you can see sort of the equipment behind us. It is really, and I mean, this is just where we are now. You said in the center of specialization is where we find ourselves, but there's like buildings everywhere here with lots of things inside, and we're quite keen to find out what's in there as well. But as you know, with the Link Show, it is an interactive show, of course, and if you've got questions and comments, then please post those through to us. The details will be at the bottom of your screen, whichever social media platform you're watching this right now, and we're broadcasting on various of those. So if you have any questions or comments, then definitely post it through to us, and we will definitely pop that along to our guests. So let me ask you this quickly. The courses that are offered here, and you've explained now basically the running of a day, let's call it 8 to 8. And I mean, these courses are also different in terms of duration.
Correct. So you know, a prospective student can do anything from a 1-day course to a 10-week to a 3-year program, which is the apprenticeship program.
Okay.
But as we cater for different sectors of our cohort of students, some students would come and do traditionally a trimester program, which is a 10-week national program, national exams, national certificate, and then there are also the practical component or practical courses, and those, as I say, can run from a 1-day refresher course and assessment to a 10-week course, depending really on the skills. So the apprenticeship program would be one route.
Okay.
But we also have what we call the ARPL route, which is accelerated accelerated recognition of prior learning.
Okay.
So this program really gives people who don't have or have not done an apprenticeship an opportunity to be assessed. So they've worked in industry for a number of years.
Okay.
They've passed possibly an age where they want to do an apprenticeship, but they can be recognized for the practical or the industry work that they've done.
Okay.
So it's an accelerated program. They get assessed for what they've completed, as well as to determine the gaps in their training. And then we will fill those gaps by means of short programs, short courses. And through that mechanism, they can also do a trade test and become an artisan. So it's not, they're not linked or bound into a 3-year contract, but there is an opportunity for them to do a trade test and become an artisan.
All right, so let me just see if I understand this. So assume I've been working in this industry or the field as a fitter and turner, just as an argument, for 10 years, 15 years. But, you know, I basically went straight from school, whatever the opportunities was at the time, or, you know, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But now I've got work experience.
Absolutely.
So I can come through the doors here, and then I get access in terms of my work experience, because I would have learned a lot, really, because I was working in the market. Now I come here and then I leave with that qualification, which sort of solidifies and certifies my work experience, and now I kind of have the qualification.
Correct. When you've completed the trade test.
Once you've completed.
So the gaps are identified. Perhaps, you know, you've just done a particular duty or role for a number of years, but there are certain gaps. So, for example, there would be hydraulics, pneumatics, working on a lathe, working on a milling machine, working on a grinder, working on a drill press, just to use very simple examples. But you may only have worked on a lathe or on a milling machine.
Let me ask you this, and these behind us are milling machines, right?
I'm impressed with Google.
So those are milling machines behind us, but for example, if somebody has only worked in one specific field, they may not have had exposure based on the company and the products that are produced by that company. So this is where we identify particular gaps and then offer training programs to fill the gaps, and that person is given an opportunity to do the trades.
You know what? All I can say, and I want to just congratulate everybody and you as well as the campus manager here. I mean, everything here, it looks fantastic. It is really outstanding, and I mean, it is world class. It really is. So, and I think everybody, you know, who's interested in that sort of field, I mean, they would definitely be making their way here. I want to ask you this quickly before we let you go. You said earlier from something as a one-day course. What would and that would be a sort of a touch-up, a refresher course? Would that?
Yeah, it could be that. You know, so somebody could come for a welding or brazing program or course. Sorry, just to touch up and just to refresh. Okay. So those could be. But just to latch on to what you're saying about world class, we are very fortunate because of the Center of Specialization status that has been awarded. We also have JICA, which is a Japanese partners that are working with us on developing the artisans in the Center of Specialization. So really having exposure to Japanese technology, Japanese expertise, and helping us as a Center of Specialization to really benchmark our training on the best in the world. We also compete in the World Skills Competition, and I see that Mr. Ramalapa will be speaking to you after this, and he he is our expert on CNC, which is computer numeric coding. So the conventional lathes and milling machines are very mechanical, but at Wingfield we also offer the CNC lathe and milling machines, which is computerized. So students learn to write the program so that the machine does the lathe or milling machine, which is computerized, does the machining based on the program that has been. So we do offer that as well.
Because, I mean, that is pretty cutting edge. I know you walked in with something.
That's right.
You walked in. What exactly is this?
Okay, so this is a certificate that we were awarded for being the Center of Specialization for fitting and turning. So a delegation from industry that was appointed by the Department of Higher Education came around to Wingfield campus and really went around to all colleges and campuses in South Africa who applied to be centers of specialization. And this campus was awarded the Center of Specialization for fitting and turning, as we said earlier.
Well done,
That alone is a reason why you choose
Exactly.
Northlink at Wingfield campus as your tertiary institution of choice. That would be that alone is a reason to do that. So obviously you've got the partnerships within industry, which makes things eligible. But prospective students, moms and dads, they're looking at this now, grade 12 learners, and they're going, all right, there's an option. Why else should they come here?
I think what we also offer here is a student support services. So like all other TVET colleges, Wingfield and Northlink College offers expertise in the area of student support services. So we know that our general and public schooling system often doesn't give opportunity or give the correct guidance to students to make a career choice that directs them to TVET colleges. And so we have a student support service that offers prospective students guidance, can do an assessment to determine what specific area of an occupation they may be best suited to. And this is very important because I think once you've made a decision, it's very difficult to change that as you've gone along. With the bursary system that is in place, you are also only given the one opportunity to make a choice. So it's very important that you make a choice based on sound information. And the expertise is available to assist students to make that decision.
Yeah. The more you know, the easier it becomes, I think. Isn't it? Yeah. Any last questions you have, Rhoda? Because I'm questioned out.
I'm questioned out. I've got all my information.
Yeah. Marco Nielsen, do you want to add anything else?
I think perhaps just to say that, you know, in each of these areas we have, as you said, highly skilled staff, and I just want to compliment and mention this. And this is really what has set the benchmark for us. Excellent staff, highly qualified, but also having industry and international exposure. In fact, we just had another visit yesterday from a German delegation.
Oh, wow.
And they are looking at setting up a competition between our students and German schools, because they don't have the same system that we have here. So they have vocational schools. So partnerships and benchmarking and international relations are very important to us. And I think that this further enhances why it's important and why it's a good opportunity for any young person to come and study here.
Yeah. No, it certainly is. Thank you so much for your
Thank you
time.
so
Thank you
much.
so much for being part of the Link Show. And once again, congratulations, because everything is truly, truly outstanding. I mean, you feel it from the moment you were there. It's a real buzz. It is really a place of excellence. So really, really well done. Thank you so much. So that is Mark Cornelissen. He is, Cornelissen rather, he is the campus manager here at the Wingfield campus. At Northlink campus, which is just fantastic. But there's so many things he touched on.
Oh, yes.
But we're going to recap that quickly because we've got lots of other guests coming on as well. So we're going to talk CNC. He mentioned CNC.
Yeah.
So we're going to touch base on CNC because I know people are quite interested in about it, as well as when it comes to electronics, which is actually where we're going to move to next.
Next, that's right.
Our next guest, we're going to be talking about electronics, but he gave us a nice overview of what the Northlink Wingfield campus is all about.
Yeah, sorry, Dougal. It's on site, there's such a lot of things happening. I get quickly distracted. That's right, Dougal. I was quite excited because of the fact that, you know what, international, and that these machines at our level of education, which is offered here at Northlink, is like on another level.
Yeah.
And, you know, it makes me feel proud as a South African sitting here and listening to this, you know, that we're competing against, you know, around the world at the end of the day. So.
And it shows that partnership. It shows that progressiveness of what is happening and how things are expanding, which is super important. But I remind you, of course, you're going to have a question and a comment, and we look forward to those. So whatever you have, the details are at the bottom of your screen. Definitely put it into us because this is what the Link Show is all about. We fill you in on all the blanks. Now, Robert Wilson has joined us. He's a lecturer when it comes to electronics. I know, shocking, isn't it? I've been working on that joke the whole time. But that is what we're going to be talking about. So we just spoke to Mark. He kind of gave us a whole sort of overview of the Wingfield campus. But firstly, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time. Tell us about the course. What is it all about, electronics?
Okay, electronics is obviously very exciting since the whole world is moving to the electronic side of things. So the college offers theoretical courses as well as practical courses. I'm part of the practical courses, and in that practical courses it consists of 3 trimesters, which we call our phases. So it'll be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and 4. And during that process, they learn how to do soldering, how to make PC boards, how to build circuits, fault find that circuits, working with analog and digital circuits, and then even how to program basic electronic circuits as well to do various different things.
Wow.
So it's a broad knowledge of electronics.
Wow.
So, and I'm just listening to this. So a student out there obviously wanting to do this course now, what is the criteria for them to basically enter this course?
So the criteria for them is we usually have them come to our theoretical classes first, which is in 1, 2 and 6. So once they're into that program, they get a little bit of knowledge about the theoretical side of it. And then after N1 or N2, they can then come and join the practical classes as well. And the practical classes then will augment and add to the knowledge that they need to progress with their theoretical subjects even further than that. Okay. Sometimes also, sometimes also we have people that's more experienced and they're at work already working with electronics, and we kind of analyze that as well and see how their personal experience is, and maybe then we can slot them in directly. So it can do.
And so if I'm now, the courses and specifically for electronics, is this something where you need the matric qualification for?
Currently, no. So currently you can have grade 10, 11 and 12 and then come and do N1. And then through that process you can actually then do the electronic qualification as well.
And then you'll go to, after N1 you will go to the 2 and 3.
That's right. With the matric or a technical matric, then they can actually go to N4 and then start that way if they have a technical matric.
Yeah. And then just on that, again, me asking on behalf of mothers, fathers, families out there, bursaries, is there basically bursaries in place?
So there's bursaries for the theoretical programs, and then for the practical programs, there comes in bursaries. They must kind of put their name on a waiting list, and then when those bursaries come around, then we have that. But we do have bursaries for the theoretical part of it.
And this is external businesses that basically are sponsoring or offering these bursaries?
It's sometimes external businesses, sometimes it's NSFAS, the National Bursary Fund, etc.
Okay, cool.
Quickly, let me just do it. I want to take you to the classroom quickly. So who's in your class? I mean, are we looking at different ages? I mean, obviously you lecture various classes and all of that.
That's right.
So, but I mean, any class that you have, is it a mix of different age groups, different interests?
It's definitely a mix of different age groups. Sometimes we get youngsters, well, I'm feeling a little bit old at the moment, but we get youngsters that, you know, maybe just finished matric, and then we'll have other people that's been in the industry and coming for further training, and they might be early 30s, for example, or even later than that. Currently, we do a lot of training for the Navy, for the electronics, so currently our class will be filled with Navy cadets. So,
because electronics is one of those things that is constantly expanding.
It's expanding and it's varied. So it's hard to train for something that's so varied, because obviously there's different specializations. So in our courses we kind of give a general electronics overview to kind of equip them to enter into those various different fields.
And what I've heard, I'm just listening to it, apparently there is a skills shortage at the moment, and you guys are addressing this?
There is skill shortages, especially the fact that there's a lot of electronic industries out there that the people are learning on the job, and there's no real formal training or qualifications for them. So that's definitely there in the electronics side.
Now, let me ask you this question, and I apologize for posing this question anyway, because it's a bit rude. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Northlink's standard now, compared to the industry, because that is ultimately the crux. That is what mom and dad wants to know. That's what the student wants to know.
That's right. So obviously we pride ourselves on our equipment and our courses, but also when it comes to electronics, there's very few places in this country that can trade test electronics. And we're one of those venues that can actually do trade testing. So our training is fully accredited all the way up to trade testing. So someone that has finished with our courses will then be able to hopefully successfully pass their trade test, which is something that a lot of other colleges can't say.
No, I like that. I like that. So now I come here, I've got my qualification. What is possibly the career that I will fall into? Because that is what mom and dad wants to know.
So electronics is obviously very varied. So we've had students that go into different fields, from telecommunications to working for ATM companies, installing ATMs, to repairs, electronic repairs. So it's a whole very amount of careers that they can go into.
The first thing that got me when you said is like how to do a circuit board, and I was like, okay, I've seen one, but you know, I know the one thing is green, and that's it. If we stick to green, it's not confuse me a lot more than what it is. So it seems fun. This is the one thing, and I know it sounds weird, but it just seems fun.
Electronics is fun. We give our students extra things to do, little extra projects to kind of push them and build them and grow further. So the one group, for example, when they were doing the electronics, the programming course, they were given a task, quite a little straightforward task, but we had a road with a line painted on it.
Wow.
So then they had to create a little robotic car that can sense the line and then navigate around the line to actually follow the path.
Oh, wow.
And that's a lot of fun for the students to actually work through this process to actually get something like that going. To everything, to audio amplifiers, you know, just have some music blaring and it's just a lot of fun.
Sure. So what is a typical day like for you?
Typical day is pretty hectic because obviously we're working with the different circuits, and then students will also then come in with extra things. So usually on a Friday, we try to help them with additional things, whether it be repairs that they're bringing in on their own. Might be TVs or something. It's like, how do I repair a TV?
Oh, wow.
Bring it in and let's open it up and let's have a look and get your hands dirty and let's get this thing working again.
Interesting.
It sounds like a lot of fun. It really does.
I'll be honest, Duga, I'm very scared of electronics, especially electricity.
I'm
extremely static, so anything I touch, I shock.
Every now and then there's a little poof.
I'm just going to say,
it does happen.
Don't put me close to the electronics.
We're not going to have any poofs. But Robert, is there anything else you would like to add?
Everything is fine.
Listen, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on to the Link Show.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. Robert Wilson, and we were talking electronics there. He's one of the lecturers. And but it does seem fun. Can you imagine? You know what I mean? But I mean, fun is the wrong word.
It's probably the wrong word. I am so static, Dougal. I cannot, I mean, my hair standing down to a specific factor, thank goodness, but otherwise it's always standing like that. So when it comes to electronics, I'm extremely scared. But you know what? If you guys feel you can do this, go for it.
That is. And listen, this is where it's all happening, Rhoda, because the Wingfield campus, it is mechanical engineering, many courses, electrical engineering. We spoke to one of the lecturers, Robert, just a short while ago, and which is absolutely fantastic, and just talking to him is really great, and it seemed quite fun as well, which is what it is all about. But earlier we heard something about CNC. That is what I heard. And the man that was going to tell us about CNC, Junior Ramalapa, has just taken a seat next to us.
Just taken a seat.
So Ramalapa, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Are you okay?
Yeah, thank you for having me also here.
Okay,
Firstly,
excellent.
What is CNC?
I was going to ask exactly the same thing.
What is CNC? I've heard CNC now the whole time. We've got no idea.
Yes. A CNC it's a computer numerical control machines.
Computer?
Numerical
control machine. Okay.
So let me see if I understand this. So this is where you program the machines to do job of machine.
To do a specific job, yes.
Oh,
okay.
Yes,
okay.
All right. Now we're getting up somewhere. Thanks for enlightening us. So
Yes.
tell us about the course. What can you tell us?
The course is all about the students will learn about the G codes, the M codes, and the setup and how the machine works using a mathematical coordinate system.
Okay.
So yes, so in order for you to do a CNC, you need to understand the basic or the trigonometry and the algebra and mathematics at all.
Oh, wow.
Because basically what do you do there? You work with numbers all the time. It's like coding. The children nowadays at the primary school are learning coding. So coding is when you selecting numbers and letters to form certain words or to form certain programs. So basically the CNC works similar to coding.
All right.
So on that, just for the students out there, am I correct in saying that if you should do this course here, it can't be maths lit, it needs to be pure maths?
It needs to be pure maths,
Pure
correct,
maths.
yes.
Because I'm just listening to you now, and you know, there's always this conversation, why do I need trig? Why do I need this? Why do I need... But
Yes,
now
you
just
need-
listening to you, mentioning all of that, I'm like, okay, I see it does come in handy after all.
Yes, you do need pure maths there in order for you to understand the language also. Because there's also, besides maths, there is also G codes and M codes, which is the one that directs machine what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
seeing there on the screen now, is actually, is that one of the machines that you use?
Yes, that's one of my machines that I'm using there, which is a 3-axis milling machine.
3-axis milling machine.
Milling machine,
Oh, that
yes.
was the milling machine Dougal was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
now, I
that's
know all about
interesting.
milling machines. So now, having a look at when we saw the machine, that is where you punch in the instruction,
Yes.
and I mean, this is now just converting the machine to do and perform the task that is
Yes, to
required.
perform the task, yes.
What is the entrance criteria for this course?
The entrance criteria will be your N2, full N2, which is your drawing, your mathematics, and your trade theory subject, and your science.
And how long is this course?
The course can be a year longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it can be a year longer.
I'm probably going to ask you a very stupid question. So you program the machine, what do you program it for? Like, what do you get when you're done?
When you get, you see,
Are you looking for something?
Yes, you see this cameras here now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
These cameras here were produced from plastic.
Yeah.
That's plastic manufacturer. So in order for you to get that cover for that camera, so which means I need to cut a pocket that is the same as a camera holder.
Yeah.
And then the plastic will flow inside that pocket and form the final product. So it's part of tooling industry. Because in tooling industry, they use the CNC machines to cut their cavities.
So that is basically.
So, I mean, this is companies,
machine.
this is like manufacturing anything known to man.
Yeah, that's manufacturing, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
wow.
everything and
Engine,
anything.
cars,
Wow.
pistons, conrods. That's what we need in South Africa.
Wow.
Because you sometimes see it like in these car manufacturing plants, you see this little robot arm
Yes,
thing. You know what I mean?
robotic arm.
This is the instructions.
This is the instruction. You see, the same
wow.
language that they use to program those robots is part of the CNC programming.
Yeah.
Because you're telling the robots, go to such distance and go pick it up,
Exactly.
this product, and take it from there, move it up, and go plant it at 100 or minus 50. Or, yes, it works similar, same principles as CNC machines.
Now, obviously, I mean, if you look at the 80s or 90s or even just 20 years ago, and also where electronics and technology is advancing
It's advanced now.
I mean, these were things, I mean, this was not a course
We
that
never
exists.
thought of, yes.
You know what I mean? So it is quite
Exactly.
scary to know where it will be. And I mean, obviously, Northlink is keeping pace with that because this is where you get the fundamentals, the basics,
The
and
basics,
more.
yes, and more, yes. Because also the CNC it falls under the fourth industrial revolution. So
actually
it's
gonna say.
part of the growth that South Africa needs to get into.
I want to ask you this, a cheeky question though, but because it was answered earlier, I don't ask, but I want to ask it this
Go
time.
for it.
Bursaries?
Bursaries?
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes the sitters do come and give us funding so that we can look for students or look for industry also to upskill the industry people.
Yeah.
And then any gaps, opportunities in the market? I mean, for a student that's looking at this now, is there gaps in the market for them? Is they should be obviously done with this course?
Yes, there is gaps because I always get calls or get emails to say, we're looking for CNC guys. Don't you have students that can program that? Don't you have students that can do this for us?
So there's very few, obviously, just like the coding guys, there's very few of them as well?
Yes,
oh, wow.
Very few. It's very few.
So you get called. Because I was going to ask you now, Northlink's standard compared to the industry. I mean, if you're getting calls, then clearly the standard must be quite high.
Yes, the standard within Northlink and industry, yes, we do get a lecturer professional development chance.
Yeah.
So sometimes I will go there in industry for a couple of weeks so that I can check what the industry doing and go implement so that we can all be on the same level.
Yeah,
Yes.
So you need to be informed all the time.
I need to be informed all the time.
Yeah, you got to keep your finger on the pulse. And this is an ever-changing sector.
Yes,
This is changing.
because of the technology.
Yeah.
Technologies.
I think I'm going to be doing this course, Dougal.
Yeah, no, it sounds exciting. Listen, because I know there might be a lot of matriculants looking at this.
Oh, yeah.
And going, you know, they've certainly got the aptitude. And I think everybody who's now in matric, they just have that aptitude to do that sort of thing, as is my personal view.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is ever-changing. This is a constantly expanding course. And I mean, obviously, and I know you just flooded because we've heard about you even before we sat here today. So this is fantastic. But I wanna just ask you this one thing. In your experience, your day-to-day experience, I mean, it seems fun. What exactly does it entail? Just to give us that final push and for students to decide to make this their tertiary institution choice. What are some of the fun things you do?
And some of the fun. I manufacture anything that I want to.
Oh, wow.
I can manufacture anything. No, you can't beat me. You can say, okay, here's my top of the car. It's warping. Can I bring it to you? Yes, I will say, yes, bring it. Let's see what is wrong with it. Then we skim it and then you put it back. Let it work again.
Anything.
Anything.
I like him. I need to put you in my pocket.
You know what? You dropped the mic right there. That is it. Yeah, that's it. That is the end. There's nothing more.
Manufacturing. You see, our country lacks manufacturing. If we bring manufacturing a little bit up to standard, then we won't have all these issues that we're experiencing now.
I like that. I like that. Well done.
That certainly is. Juna, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was really interesting.
For pulling us for CNC, I tell you what, yeah. He said it himself. He said anything. You manufacture anything. So whatever it is, you bring it along and it happens here. And that is what it's about, Rhoda.
It is.
That is what it's about.
I like him.
It certainly is. But listen, if you've got a question, you've got a comment, then certainly you've got to pose it through to us, of course, which is super important, and we'll gladly put it through to our guests as well, which is what it's all about, and they can answer your questions. So we've touched base on electronics, we've touched base on CNC.
That's right.
We kind of got an overview about Northlink campus, Wingfield campus at least.
That's right, Dougal. And it's so broad because, I mean, just that CNC, I didn't even know what the CNC was. So it was really like, okay, I would like to know what it is. And just finding out now, I feel so much more informed at the end of that. I'm actually excited just to find out about our next guest as well. And just want to know exactly, you know, what is his job entail, and he's just joining us now. Mr. Regan Hoffman, welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show.
No, great to have you here. So all I know is pneumatics. I've heard the word hydraulics.
Ooh, I nearly pronounced that one even wrong.
It is, because it's that PN thing.
The PN threw me out.
Like
Dougal.
elephant, PH.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You get pneumatics.
Oh, pneumatics.
You see what I'm saying?
No, but that's why you got to come and study it. That's why you got to come and study it. Listen, so quickly, because I mean, there are people watching this.
Exactly.
And I'm one of those people. And literally going, pneumatics and hydraulics. I've heard the terminology. I kind of understand laymanishly what hydraulics would entail. The same with pneumatics. Put us out of our misery, please.
So, when we speak about hydraulics, we're basically talking about fluids under pressure.
Yeah.
We pressurize this fluid to put it through a system to maybe actuate a pump or we need a pump actually to actuate the system.
Yeah.
So for your normal cylinders and all that stuff, you're going to need a pumper motor to actuate or to start up at least something.
Yeah.
Pneumatics, basically the same. All the only difference is that we can use gas and we use air
Yeah.
to power the system. So when we speak about pneumatics, the first thing that has to come to your mind is that we need a compressor here.
Yeah.
We need something to
I was going to
generate
say that now.
the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that video now, and I was looking at all these, like there was this little thing that it looked like it was going in and out. Is that like the hydraulics?
That is pneumatics that we have
Is
on the
that
screen right
pneumatics?
there.
Oh, is that pneumatics?
Minus 1
Okay.
point for Rhoda.
Minus 1 point
You
for me.
gave
I
her two
told you,
there on the
Dougal, you're
screen.
good at this. And that is all the machinery you guys kind of use just to...
Those are some of the components, or if I can put it, that is the board that we use to build different circuits to show the guys what can be built. And but before we get to that, building circuits,
Yeah.
you first need to know the basics of it, understanding the various or the different types of components that we use and how they work, knowing to read your symbols. Those are important, but the most important thing there is knowing how to read your schematics and also to work safely.
Yeah.
The safety aspects in any job is very, very important. If somebody's going to work there and they don't know how to work safely, they might just injure themselves, which is what we don't want.
Yeah. And this is the beauty about the show and why we are at the Northlink Wingfield campus, because everything sort of interlinks. You know, we've spoken electronics, we've kind of got a broad overview of mechanical and all of that, and now we're moving into the pneumatics, the hydraulics. Quickly, Regan, for mom, dad, and prospective students watching this, give us an overview of the course.
An overview of the course will be learning the basics and the fundamentals of pneumatics and hydraulics.
Okay.
Learning how to read the schematics, learning how to use the different components, what their functions are in the circuit or in the systems. Also learning how to work safely with them. But purely if you don't understand how one component works, you won't understand what its function will be in the circuit. And so it goes for everything that we do here.
Yeah.
Hydraulics basically and pneumatics is one of the key factors outside in the engineering sector today.
Yeah.
We are automotive systems, agriculture, all of these things.
I was just going to ask you,
Yeah.
We basically, so learning to do this for mom and dad to send their child to come and do fitting and machining, there's such a broad spectrum to it.
Yeah.
You can go in different directions.
Yeah.
You start off with the one, but it's like a stepping stone and you carry on from there and you carry on from there. This hydraulics and pneumatics is something, if you go outside in industry now, it's a specialized field.
Yeah.
It's insane now.
And
And it's huge in construction as well. People building upwards only, you know?
yes,
Yeah.
if we look in our basic lives, we buy our milk, our yogurts and all these things, our cool drinks, and where do they come from? How are these bottles manufactured? How is it sealed up? Pneumatics, hydraulics.
Oh, wow.
Mainly in your food sector, you will get mostly pneumatics, here and there a bit of hydraulics, obviously because of contamination. So we would rather use pneumatics, but pneumatics is beautiful to use because it's fast, it's rapid.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you guys have seen programs where they run a bottling plant.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Quick,
yes.
everything goes. So pneumatics is something beautiful to use, hydraulics as well. But hydraulics will mostly, where there's heavy equipment involved. Your marine industry, your vessels outside, like the Navy, those guys are here with us because of not only the hydraulics, but of various courses that we offer you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for mom and dad at home, I would say, if you want to have your child, if you want to see that your child has a bright future ahead of him,
Yeah.
everywhere in the engineering sector, I would say it is imperative that you know pneumatics and hydraulics. It just opens up the field for you.
Yeah. No, it does. Rian, let me ask you this. What are the criteria to do the course? Are there bursaries offered? How long is the course?
Okay. The criteria to do this course, basically you need a N2, and then you need to have done all the 4 phases. This is the final, the pneumatics or the fluid power sector that module is the last step of the phase 4. So basically you have had to cover phase 1, phase 2, and then 3 and 4. Your last step will be with me when we do the fluid power. And after the fluid power is completed, only then will you be eligible to go and do a trade testing.
Okay.
So those are one of the elements that, or the criteria. Bursaries, we offer bursaries basically when there's a program that we're offering, like now with the Megatronics.
Yeah. What?
Megatronics.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah, does sound like a movie because it's quite a broad spectrum of things that happens there. Like you mentioned early on, everything is interlinked.
Yeah.
So if we can take my colleague that just spoke before me now, we look at the CNC machine. How does it function?
Exactly.
Hydraulics, pneumatics. And they, how did they say, in plain sight, you have Megatronics in front of you, not realizing that you're actually programming this thing, this robot, to do exactly as you want it to do.
Exactly.
Megatronics, what we do here with Megatronics is basically we're combining the metalworks with the electronics, with the pneumatics, and the hydraulics. When you bring all of those things together, you can sort of perform Megatronics, or it's the basis they offer at least.
Yeah.
You get extremely excited. You make me excited.
Yeah. I want to know how much things have you built yourself?
I was gonna say.
You don't have to tell me.
Look, coming from the marine industry, hydraulic industry, that's where I come from. I worked on various yachts, SAF Marine.
Oh, wow.
I've been on various vessels, installing different types of systems used in that particular industry. I've done jobs in the mining industry as well. So that is why I say, when we talk about a skill that is required, that you really can acquire and use to your advantage, it's pneumatics and hydraulics.
Excellent.
It's something that sort of rounds off everything else, that will just take you that little bit further.
Yeah.
And then just on that, obviously just listening to you, there must be great gaps and opportunities for you for this once you've done completed the course, obviously.
Yes, like I mentioned earlier on, if you look at the market out there these days, if you go onto the internet and you do a bit of job hunting, and you open up like, here's a job, they're going to ask you, can you do hydraulics, can you do pneumatics?
Oh, wow.
So that is why I'm saying, if you can do this, it is absolutely important that you have it on your resume and that you also have the certificate, which is what you will receive here from us. Gaps in the markets. Our agriculture is something that needs it. Our marine industry, our construction sites, like you mentioned earlier.
You mentioned mining as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of industries where we can go in with this. It's not to say that, oh, I'm only going to be in a workshop. No, that is where you start. That's where you learn how to do it, and then from there onwards. And our students mainly come from industry, because what companies are starting to see now is that by getting in, like I mentioned earlier on, hydraulics and pneumatics is a specialized field. So to cut company cost, the companies are now sending their guys to Northlink to upskill them so that they don't have to pay excessive amounts to get those specialized people in. They have them in-house now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So those are the type of things that's happening in the market now as well.
And how does, because we asked our other guests the same thing, I mean, and they've all been unified in their response. How does Northlink's standards now compare to the industry?
Northlink has always been industry. How can I put this? We've been competing all the time, and we've been a part of industry all the time, always liaising with industry to know what's happening out there, so that if we know what's happening outside, we then know what to teach. We know where to pitch the classes, what to do, what is expected of us, what do the guys want to learn. So we base our educational purposes on the industry, what they want, what is required of us. If I can mention in my class now today, or the group that I have now, all of those guys are from industry.
Oh, wow.
They are sent here through the companies to come and do the course.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Some of them are qualified artisans already.
Sure.
Some are electricians, and Some are, I don't know exactly what the other guys are, but I know they are all in the industry doing a particular job. So they basically came to do this just to upskill themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So no, that's absolutely brilliant, and I mean, it seems like a lot of fun because when you see all this kind of equipment around you, you see all of this. I mean, you know, and there's a vibe about the place. You can really sense it when you walk in here.
Definitely.
You can really. Anyway, Regan, any final thoughts from you? Any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to share?
All I can say is that Mom and Dad, please listen to the children. If they ask to come to Northlink, please send them.
Yes, listen, Mom and Dad.
Oh, certainly they will. Regan Offord is lecturer of pneumatics, hydraulics here at the Wingfield campus, Northlink Wingfield campus. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. So I've learned something now, Rhoda. I've learned something because, and the way he explained it, it is that next step. It is that next phase that you want to do. But it is certainly keeping up with all things industry related and exactly to where the planet is moving.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly to where, I mean, that's cutting edge, innovative. And I mean, there are matriculants looking at this going, this is what I want to be. But the one thing I can definitely attest to, and what has been a common thread in all of this, is the fact that we've been hearing of how industry standards are met, how the sector is sort of constantly evolving and moving along, but more importantly, keeping with it. And I mean, whatever we know now as man is going to be very different 5 years from now, because this is at the pace that things are moving at.
That is true, Dougal, and it makes me excited as well, because just listening to this, hydraulics and pneumatic, I mean, I don't want to sound all funny there, but these are things me personally, I didn't know about. You know, and I'm getting excited about this because when I look at Northlink basically, I mean, we did cosmetology, we did all of the others as well, that you could get on a boat and basically use their skills and go international. And this is what I'm finding now at the moment as well with these courses, that you can actually do these courses, working on a ships, doing hydraulics. I am amazed. I'm totally amazed, and I'm quite proud, you know, of Northlink at the end of the day.
No,
but we've got a new guest.
We do. It is super exciting though, because Edwin Davids is joining us now, and he's a lecturer, COS of fitting and turning. Woo. Because this was the one concept I understood before I walked in here. Edwin, thank you so much for sitting here with us, man. Good to have you here with us on the Link Show. Quickly, fitting and turning, this is something we hear a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the course. What is this all about?
Fitting and turning is having a broad perspective of everything. Exactly what all the previous lecturers was talking about: hydraulics, pneumatics, pumps, gears. You're having basic hand skills. You can take any student to any machine. With any piece of material, you can teach him by doing things by hand. And some of them is arriving at the college with no idea what to do, but just interpret the drawing what he sees, and onto the end after 3 days he's having a clear perspective of what the drawing actually means, what he can do onto real material.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So just me asking probably again a stupid question. So it's basically using all of that we have basically spoken of, and then actually then creating, you know, whatever at the end of the day, where the fitting and turning is concerned, using all that knowledge.
All this knowledge. That's why day one, when you arrive at the college and you enroll for a course program, we go through everything: induction, through all the models we have, like basic hand skills, safety, all those. From there, we're taking you to the ground. We're taking you to the ground. And while you arrive here, we're showing you practical by hand, a pedestal grinder, a drill, what you're doing there, what is a bench vise, how to use a file, all those things. And from there, he's having the opportunity by showing his ability, what he can do.
Yes.
So, and I mean now, how long are these courses?
It is basically 2 years, 2.5 to 3 years.
Oh wow.
They're coming to the college for the first 10 weeks, where he's learning basic skills for 10 weeks. Then he goes to the company to implement what he's learned at the college.
Okay.
So you get that practical experience.
Practical experience with the knowledge.
Yeah.
With the knowledge experience. And from there, he's going to the company in a way he learned also the basic from the company, the things that he needs to do every day.
Oh wow.
And after 10 weeks, he's arriving back to the college with the basic experience from work and the basic experience from the college combined together, that forming him something in the future.
Okay, okay. And what would be the entrance criteria for the courses?
Entrance criteria is grade 12 to into, but mostly some of the students are in Coop. They're coming from a technical school, that's an entry level in 3.
Okay.
And some of them having like in 4, in 5, and 6. And from there they go onwards.
Okay. I'm looking at that now, and I'm looking at that machines there, and I'm seeing this liquid running in that. So what are they basically doing there? Or what is that?
That is basically, say for instance, they need to machine something, like a step.
Yeah.
Like now they're clamping it onto the tree jaw. Now the float is there by pulling it off. The moment he's using the tool by cutting it, it expands now.
Yeah.
And now it's forming back to his size, and now he can take a very good measurement onto it. Like currently they are busy there with the dividing head. Now onto the dividing head, he can do like various modules, like he can do like gear cutting, he can do slots onto it, with every tool.
Okay, okay. And I know Dougal's probably going to have a look, because I know we've got a table with things there as well.
Yeah, I actually want to look at like some of the things that we have here, because these are bits that, and
that was
I know
made.
there's a gear. I saw that. Bits that have been created by the students,
By the
right
students,
here.
yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at that. But this looks hugely fun. And actually, Edward, let's have a look there. If you could just sort of guide us through here, because we'll get a shot on that. That is some of the goodies that we have there. So there we go. So talk us through this.
Okay.
So these are things that were all made here, manufactured right here.
Like this. If I can start with this. This is keys and locking devices. This is one of the modules you're learning how to combine something like sealing something. As you can see, you're having one with a washer onto it, with a nut, you're drilling holes through it, with split pins, dowels, all the type of things onto it. And as you can see, this is the one with various slots onto it. This you're manufacturing onto a milling machine with certain type of cutters.
And then whatever it is, we'll just slide in there and sort of lock that
like
way.
This one, you're starting onto a lathe.
Okay.
Onto a lathe with the raw material. Now you start cutting. You're cutting onto certain diameters. Like this is external thread.
Yeah.
Engage it onto certain threads, cutting it, and certain depths, like onto the back part. This is a hexagon. This is parts you're using onto the milling machine, where you use a rotary table, where you start indexing on certain degrees onto it.
Okay.
This is similar project they can ask you to do onto tray test. For example, they're giving you 6.5 hours. You have to do external threads, internal threads, with keyways, with radiuses, with the pulley as well.
Okay.
With threads onto it.
All right. And these items that you are showing now, because you mentioned trade tests, so the student will be asked to sort of make this as part of the test?
It depends.
Depends what the question is.
What they ask him to do.
All right. Now that is a gear right at the far end.
Yes.
I got one thing right.
This is a spur gear.
A spur gear.
Spur gear, yes.
Yeah, I said gear. You choose one next.
That's good, Dougal. I trust you.
This little bit here in the front, the bullet-looking thing.
This one.
Yeah, and that one. What would that be? Because these looks like parts of an engine or some machine.
No. This is a tool holder that you can manufacture for yourself. What you're going to use onto the machine to perform certain of these duties. With the cutter you insert it into it. Okay. This one is a plug. He's having, I don't have the male here with me. You have a male onto it. This one is taper onto the external, and having a taper internal where they fit onto each other.
Okay. Got you.
This one is a cam.
All right.
As you can see, onto both sides is off-centered.
Yeah.
But this one is concentric in the middle.
Yeah. And thank you for showing us. I mean, this looks like some really interesting thing. But Edward, come have a seat here next to me. This is just absolutely fantastic looking. And so these are the bits that people. Yet you would manufacture here, you would do this here, this is what it's all about. You get taught to do all of these wonderful things. And I mean, this is the makeup of any machine, device, whatever. Everything needs to be made. And then it looks fabulous, I must say.
For myself, I'm also qualified these days that I have to do something at home.
Yeah.
I've got the ability by doing it myself without even going to the shop to buy something. If there is a grinder at home, a drill at home, I know how to drill holes and to manufacture it, and by putting it maybe onto the wall and to stick something to it.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I was just going to ask you now, because just listening to you now, so obviously we just heard, especially in agriculture, now they come up with a new machine. I mean, you need bolts and things, obviously, to a certain size. So does that get manufactured, like custom made by you guys? By a fitter and a turner?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And like, say for instance, you need something specifically onto a pump as well. You disassemble a pump, you see something is broken onto it.
Oh, wow.
You're having the ability by creating something to fit onto it.
I like this.
And then after it, you assemble it again, and it will work 100% again after it.
So looking at the industry again, obviously this is something, obviously, you know, that people are looking for?
Yes. Currently at the moment, as you can see what we're having now, currently we're having most of our experienced artisans is running to other countries, and now we're having the lack of skill in South Africa. That's why most of the companies is coming here and talking to students and asking for help, and some of them is getting the opportunities by them being employed permanently by them if they see all the skills that have been created here by Northlink College.
Oh, wow.
Sure. You know what, because you're touching on one of the things, there certainly seems to be a flurry and a huge amount of opportunity, and that is why you got to come here. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on to the Link Show and sharing some insight and showing us this, I knew the gear. And showing us what those are. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Wishing you all the best. And that is Edward, everybody. Edward Davids, which is one of the lecturers when it comes to fitting and turning. So that is where we are. So quite a bit that we have spoken about, and we kind of got a broad sense of what happens here at the Wingfield campus. And as you definitely heard, of course, this encompasses mechanical engineering, and we saw bits that being manufactured as well. And then also electrical engineering, and we touched on that as well.
Oh yeah, yes we did. And I'm feeling so empowered to go. There was a few questions I think I wanted to ask if there was ladies in the industry, but earlier when we were here, I saw quite a bit of ladies here as well. So you know what, ladies, don't let anything hold you back. You can also do this, definitely.
But there's the funniest thing is because when as we arrived, I noticed more females.
Oh yeah,
true. I actually noticed more females, even in the workshop where we are right now. So, workshop room. Yeah, I'm going to get the terminology mixed, but either way, it looks fantastic. Look, there's the CNC bits. You can see that there behind us. It's a milling machine. Yes. No, I'm well taught. And of course, let me just reach out the gear, baby. There we go. So that,
well done.
That is there as well. But Rhoda, the one thing, and I mean, this goes without doubt, there's a vibe, there's definitely a buzz when you walk in here. I've mentioned this, you've mentioned it, we spoke about it. You can see this is a place of excellence. You look around, I mean, everything is pristine. We're talking world class here.
Exactly. Dougal and myself had a tour in actual fact, and we went through to the back even, and just looking at all the machinery, it is state of the art. It's really top notch, I must say. I'm very impressed.
No, it certainly is.
And the workshop looks neat, prestigious. It's actually quite nice. It's clean. I'm very impressed with the area.
Yeah, and this is what the Link Show is all about, because we bring you the nuts and bolts, literally, of the courses that is offered at Northlink College. And more importantly, today we were at the Wingfield campus, which specializes in the mechanical engineering, many courses as far as that is concerned, as well as electrical engineering. But ultimately, it comes down to when you make that choice of your tertiary institution of choice, this is the one. You've heard from the lecturers. We touched on CNC, pneumatics, hydraulics, fitting and turning. The list goes on. So you got a little bit more insight in what the courses are all about, and you've visually seen it. But the one thing I will say, I'm in awe of any person who walks in here and chooses this place as the higher learning, because it is really fantastic. And more prudent, Rhoda, to all of this, when you leave here, you're leaving definitely equipped and skilled for whatever is coming.
Yeah, and exactly needed at the end of the day. These are all opportunities that's out there where there's gaps in the market for you to be able to, you know what, Dougal, coming back again, actually uplift our country and, you know what, manufacture our own things at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. But that wraps it up from us for the Link Show for today.
That's right, that's right. It was fabulous being out in the, basically out here today and not in the office.
It certainly has been. So thank you very much for watching, but also ultimately thank you very much to our guests for being part of the Link Show. And of course, the Link Show right here today in the heart of the Wingfield campus at Northlink's College Wingfield campus, of course, which is in the center of Goodwood. That wraps it up from us today. So thank you very much for watching. So from myself, Dougal, and Rhoda, as well as Jabbar, our deaf interpreter and feeder, we wish you all the best and thank you once again for watching the Link Show. Until next time, when we're back, when we bring you more details, more information about Northlink College, so you can't go wrong when you enroll at Northlink College. Until next time, cheers everybody. Look after yourselves and everybody around you. Bye.
Bye.